Winters.
And good morning. It is 18 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Oasis Computers, John's back with us. Good morning, John.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
Doing good.
Well, for folks who aren't familiar, John pops in once a month for a visit, and we talk technology and computers and things that we see and do and like and hate about our computers.
Yep.
So how's things at Oasis been last couple of weeks here?
Picking up a little bit again. It's been quiet for a month or two, but it mostly is quiet this time of the year. It's getting hot again, more people coming in, and just moving along, kind of. Yeah.
So if folks are out there listening and they're wanting to, if you need work on your computers, if you got the computer that's maybe time to boost it up a little bit and upgrade some stuff, he can do that for you. Or if you want to get another computer built, or if whatever's wrong with your computer, John can at least tell you what's wrong with it and help you fix it. Unless it's, you drop a computer off a building or something, there's not much fixing going on there, but he can at least tell you it's broke. You don't know how to fix transmitters and get snakes out of transmitters.
No.
Not your expertise.
No.
Does that happen a lot where, because like you do, you'll go out and do service calls and things, and for folks that don't realize, not every computer is sitting in a nice, well air-conditioned, well ventilated building. Some of these computers on dairies and whatnot sit in farms and things like that. So you ever come across some of those where you got...
The thing we see relative often is roaches in computers.
Yeah.
And we hate them because if they're alive when they come in and we don't realize it, set the thing aside, they
then you got roaches.
Yeah, right. And I have to get rid of them. That's happened a couple of times where we had that problem. We've seen mice in computers. Stuff does get into it.
Yeah, it happens. I know. Hopefully, you catch that accordingly. But usually is that a situation where it fries something out and then it's just replacing components?
It depends on it. A lot of times you can clean it up somewhat, but they leave stuff behind.
Yeah, I imagine especially something like a roach that would leave,
droppings, whatever, and it. I don't know what's in it, but it eats up the electronics too.
Okay, so it'll throw wires and what have you.
Right.
Interesting. So obviously, if you do have those scenarios, probably need to clean them out a little more often, check them out. Get the dust cans and blow through them a little more often. But otherwise, you might be needing John's services sooner than expected.
Yeah, do not get roaches in the computers. Not good for it.
Is that a job sometimes where most of what's wrong is it just needs a good cleaning? Is that a common thing that happens?
No computer almost that comes in is not completely working because it's too dirty.
Mm-hmm.
It most of the time the fan starts running loud in it, and that's what gets people attention.
Gotcha.
The what you call it, the radiator, I guess what you call it, the cooling
fan.
piece.
Yeah.
The cooling fan gets all mucked up, and then it can't get the air through it, and then of course you got problems. Temperature goes up, whatever. Most of the time they will shut off before they do damage.
Okay.
I do have personally the feeling if it has run hot for a long time, people ignored it, restarted it that it does do some damage to it. It doesn't seem to be quite right afterwards anymore. But when it first starts, in general, it's not a problem.
Gotcha. Yeah, but if you let it go, it'll more likely overtax.
Using more energy, it overtaxes it. Like I say, it has to run harder.
Sure.
May reduce the lifetime. And the worst thing on it is the capacitors that are in it. Mm-hmm. They don't like heat. If they get over their normal temperature, they start breaking down exponentially. So they, what you would have on the good conditions, you have 100 years in a capacitor. If it's like running 20 degrees over what it's recommended for, you make it down to 2 years.
Okay.
So those are the ones that are mostly affected by it. The electronics, other than capacitors, they don't do that. Capacitors have an electrolyte in it, so not a liquid, a gel, something like that.
Okay.
And that just boils out of it. It cracks open and it boils out of it.
Okay.
Now, those are replaceable most of the time.
Gotcha. But the point is, if you can avoid it, don't let the computer sit in a hot area.
No, clean it up once in a while.
Get it cleaned out.
If you see all the dust in the grid, whatever, get a can of air and blow it out and whatever.
Yeah, and you can buy those cans of air at pretty much, you can get them at Walmart and everything else.
And then we see, it's kind of funny because we have different types of dirt. We have kitchen dirt. We have grease dirt from like a workshop, whatever. We've got bedroom dust.
Yeah.
It seems to have a lot of time powder in it, whatever.
And not to mention
fuzz.
Not to mention we live in the desert where it's sandy, dusty, and everything else. So all that stuff gets into your home. It just does, through the filters and everything else.
But the ones that are from smoking, from grease, the kitchen type of deal, restaurant maybe, those are hard to clean up. You just can't seem to get them done.
Well, that's got like a tar, gunky element to it.
It gets greasy and it gets stuck. It looks like you can just blow it off.
Yeah.
And it doesn't blow off. Well, even the dust on it doesn't blow off.
If you know a smoker and you ever get in their car and someone that's like smoked for a long time and they don't clean their windows and you'll see that brown, that film, it's the same gunk that gets in your computer. And it's
real obvious when I used to work on copy machines. They have a lot of mirrors in it, whatever, to get the light going from the top to the bottom, whatever. And the ones that are close to a big street, Main Street, 2nd Street, whatever, and the ones where they smoke a lot.
Yeah.
A good year, and it's just not the same anymore. You can't clean it. You keep cleaning the lenses, then you start scratching them.
Yeah.
And you can't get it hardly off. So, it does affect it quite a bit. Yeah. It's the reason I don't smoke no more. I learned it from that.
Hey, whatever reason's got to get you there.
Hey, you see that? You clean it up every day, and you go like, nobody smokes in here. And it's like, get a can of air, blow the dust off, and it's brand new looking.
Yeah.
And you go to the next office where there's a lot of smoking, or right next to Main Street with, windows not too sealed up too good.
Sure.
You can't clean them up. You work on it 2 hours, and it's still not the same.
Yeah, that's true. It always leaves that hue or tinge or whatever to it. So if you don't smoke, but if you do, then you're going to have to be a little bit more meticulous with the cleaning, or let's be honest, you're probably going to shorten the life of your computers.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like anything else, any other condition. Your car's no different. If you leave your car outside in the sun all the time, guess what? You're going to find the paint job's going to fade and stuff. But if you wax it regularly and keep it under shade, and guess what? It's going to look like new a lot longer.
Difference.
Same ideology.
On the dust, though, when you get dust and it's not too gunked up with whatever else, blowing it out will do, and a can of air will do great wonders. Sure. You can take the cover off on the side and just blow it out a little bit.
And I imagine if you do that like on a regular, like a weekly basis or something, then that keeps the build up, so it'll definitely
it's kind of the wrong way of saying it, because some people can go 5 years and they still don't need to clean it.
Yeah.
They got a nice sealed up house, a modern house, good windows in it, whatever, air conditioning, filters, no smoking, whatever, and it's not in the kitchen. Those machines come in 5-6 years if they've been in location, and
all good to go.
There's barely any dirt in it.
But if you're on your keyboard and you're smoking and doing all that all the time, or it's in a kitchen, then you probably want to, crack that thing open.
Yes. And then in bedrooms and stuff like that, there's a lot of fuzz coming off the material in
your blankets and
whatnot. Whatever. Yes, and that in general blows out pretty easy too, and that will really stop it up. That fuzz just covers everything up. So those things blow off fairly easy.
Good deal.
And then, for some people, that is once every 3 months. And for some other people, like 5-6 years, and it never gets dirty.
So it's basically based on your lifestyle. If you do a lot of stuff around your computer, whatever it's eating.
Right, and where you live.
Yeah. If you live on your computer, you're probably going to have to clean it more. It's no different than
you live in the 100-year-old house halfway out in the prairie out there somewheres.
Yeah.
That in general gets a lot of that New Mexico dirt in it.
Yeah.
And in town, in a nice, fairly new house, whatever, you may hardly get any in it.
Yeah. Yeah, the energy efficiency, the materials, it's sealed and better and insulated and all that. But just be mindful of that. It does make a difference in where that computer resides and how it's used, and that definitely impacts that life on it. And if and then I get it, you especially if it's a work computer and if it's a job site, that's the nature of the beast. But but you might save a little money if you crack those open and keep them cleaned on a regular basis.
Treat it with respect. It's a sensitive piece of equipment. It's easily damaged. Laptops, whatever.
Sure.
Once in a while they bring them in and they go like, we don't have this thing very long. It's only a year and a half old and it has a problem here. And you look at it and go like, well, maybe if you wouldn't bang it up so bad. Keys missing, dents in it, whatever. Sure. And
I'm wondering too, I imagine a lot, especially when people need computers for outdoor, like say they got a dairy and they got a barn where they're keeping all that kind of stuff and all that. I would imagine that if you've got the money, they probably make computers that are designed to be set up outdoors.
Industrial type machines. If you want those, you can get them. For most people, it's not needed. Even the dairies, the extra expense of machines like that you may buy two of a regular one and just come out better.
So the juice really isn't worth the squeeze unless you're just in a filthy environment.
Reliability maybe has a lot to do with it. If you need it more reliable, get one of the industrial type machines. They're just built better, stronger, better sealed up, whatever.
Well, it's like you're going to go four-wheeling. You're going to go grab a Jeep, or you're going to go grab an economical.
Good way to
Chevy
compare.
Spark.
Right. You don't want to get your Ferrari stuck in the sand dunes, right?
Yeah, exactly. You're going to need something a little bit more stout to do that. So, very good. But think about, it's something that we don't think about. We'll think about what you want the computer to do for a job, and so we think about the internals, which are very important on when it comes to selecting. But sometimes you need to think about where this computer resides, where this computer, what its intentions are. So you need to think of the external side too. Okay, how's it going to handle the elements in which it's going to reside? And sometimes that computer you just buy $299 on the shelf there is not going to handle if you were in extreme environments.
Well, the problem these days is skinnier, lighter, less, and the screens are getting stronger, but then they're so thin that they're weaker again.
Gotcha.
So if you put it in a bag and it gets crushed somewhat, you may crush the screen on it, whereas before in an older model that was thicker,
a little more stout.
It may not have done it. The some brands, they just are weakly built. A little bit of rough treatment and they fall apart.
That's all right. I think here in the next 20 years or so, everyone's going to have screenless screens. It'll all just be,
Not sure what's going to happen there. Still talking about the virtual and reality and such things, and it's just not coming along much. So
I'm still waiting for in the movies where I can have screens up in the air and I'm doing this move and I'm doing, how you watch movies and they're all got the virtual,
well, you're
screens.
Doing a little bit like that.
Yeah, but I want the one where there's like three screens in front of me, but there's no screen at all, and I'm just going this and this and circling. I want to do that.
I just would like the information to be visible in front of me, so when I know that, so that I know what's going on. That seems to be a thing. I never can remember somebody's name, so if I look at somebody like the Google Glass was kind of supposed to do, and it tells you that's Mike Winters there, and so that was Mike. Yeah,
that would be handy.
Yeah,
kind of like it's like your own personal Iron Man if you watch the Marvel movies, because Iron Man's got his mask, but he's got Jarvis in his head talking to him and telling him everything.
Right.
I wouldn't mind maybe not a helmet, but like you said, the pair of glasses like the Google glasses were supposed to do, where you're like, oh, that's Joe Smith. Oh, thank you. Right. That would be handy in my world for sure. Yeah. But even if you're just looking and like, if it was like a Google Maps and you look at a building and it's like, it says it's the JP White building, or you're looking, that would be kind of cool too.
Right.
But I think we'll see that. I think it'll maybe Google Glasses was ahead of its time for a little bit. Maybe
probably.
Maybe
like
here in a couple years they'll retry it and it'll get embraced a little better. But
it needs to be powerful and small too to put it on your face, whatever. So I don't know.
And I think the big knock that got everybody angry was the fact that you could record people in essence without them knowing.
Right.
And that didn't sit well with people.
Yeah, of course we don't do that these days. Nobody records nothing you do at this point.
Right. Right. You don't realize you got a camera on you 24/7 probably if you're out and about.
It's worse than now than when Google Glass was out there, I think, even with the Google Glass. But It's just the idea that I'm looking at you and recording you.
Yeah.
And if your phone sits there and it tracks where you are, what you do, and whatever, that doesn't seem to hit as much home.
Yeah, it's no different.
You don't realize it.
Yeah,
too much.
you realize you give out the world about everything you're doing without even realizing by just carrying a phone in your pocket.
Right,
so.
and of course, I've been doing it for years if you use the credit card.
Yeah. But they know that if you're at a bar looking and you call, you know what I mean? And now the whole world's and you're a Twitter video away from being.
Right. Well, there's cameras everywhere. Everything gets recorded, whatever. So.
Well, and there's another way to fix that: is don't be an idiot in public and say things that might get you in trouble later. And if you behave yourself, then you'll have the problem.
That is sometimes hard to do.
I understand, but there's an easy way to fix these things. Don't act like an idiot, and you won't be your idiocy won't be put on for the world to see.
Well, you got to realize that wherever you are in public, specifically, that you're being watched.
Absolutely.
Pretty much,
Yeah, I mean, well, if you think about it, every time you watch the news and you see an accident or you see some kind of shooting or something, 9 times out of 10 they've got some kind of video footage because there's a cam at an intersection or a cam in a business or a cam somewhere that catches some of it. So yeah, you walk downtown or walk in a neighborhood. Just even in your own neighborhood, I bet half your neighbors got the little door cams and stuff. So when you're driving by and going by, and it's pretty commonplace now. So odds are pretty good. You're on video somewhere if you're out in public.
Right.
So you just got to either deal with it and of course,
not much you can do.
Well, it's one of those things. Is invasion of privacy. Well, you're in public. Technically, what you do in public is what everyone sees. And
go back, 150, 175 years, cameras started being developed, film cameras, and you couldn't make a photo in the park because that was invasion of privacy. Mm-hmm. Well, nobody thinks about that now anymore.
No, and now
it's a matter of getting used to it. And
yeah, well, I guess if your crew in the mob might be a little trickier if you got to avoid cameras all the time. That's not my problem. So.
There is things you can do. You hang some lights around your head and they can't see you no more.
There you go. You can kind of do
infrared lights or whatever.
Okay.
Or something like that, and it throws the whole thing off.
Okay. Interesting. So tip for people that are up to nefarious stuff like that, I guess.
Well, depending on how many people do it, you could end up with the guy that you can't see is the one we want.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I saw on the news last night, folks, if you're going to be going to Albuquerque, they're cracking down on speed and camera. So we were just talking about cameras. That's what reminded me of it.
Okay.
They're doing like camera stings where they're going around certain parts of the city and setting up these mobile traffic cams, and they're busting people left and right speeding. And they're really trying to crack down on speeding in Albuquerque because apparently they're like the worst. They're like one of the worst cities in the country for pedestrians because they keep getting hit because of these stupid drivers in Albuquerque. So they're really cracking down on that. But I saw a thing on the news last night. They're moving. So if you go to Albuquerque a lot, mind your P's and Q's. You might end up with some tickets in the mail because they're or don't speed. That might just be the other option. But that just be on the lookout. They're coming for the speeders. They're in Albuquerque. Yeah, I just happened to catch that last night. We were just on the subject of cameras everywhere and all that. Just reminded me of it. But yeah, so just a tip.
Okay.
Good deal. Of course, kind of transitioning back to more in John's world here with computers and things. It's summer months here. If you're needing help with computers, I know we still live in a COVID world where supply and demand is still a bit of a tricky, especially silicone chip still a thing where they can't get silicone. Is that still a problem?
I don't know what exactly the deal is. It has a lot of different pieces to it. The shipping, the shutdown of a factory in China, the demand. People, this is one of these. There's a study with what was it done with beer? I think that beer was not made enough. People start buying it up. Then they ramp up the production. Then you got too much manufactured. So we expect soon, whatever that means, a glut of stuff. And then, the prices will probably drop. And then there's not enough again.
Yeah.
It's just like with the toilet paper deal, there's a word that toilet paper is in hard to come by. And everybody starts buying everything up. Now it's really hard to come by.
Yeah.
So, if you really need one roll, and you can't even find that no more. Then you find that so many weeks later, it's flooded with toilet paper everywhere. And then we don't need it no more because everybody got stocked up.
That's right.
And I think the same thing happens with the computer chips and whatever. And then it sounds like some of the common ones are cheap, common, whatever, are hard to come by anymore. They've been changing production to what makes more money or something.
Okay.
That's why your car seat don't move in your car or whatever, because the chip that controls that, they're out of those.
Ah, very good. And that's why they got warehouses full of cars sitting just waiting for these chips.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, of course, where you're going to make it and how many people are making it. If you only make it in China and something goes wrong there, whatever it is, then there is no way to pick up on it.
Yeah.
So we start recognizing that putting some factories in the United States again and in Europe and in South America, whatever, then when there's an issue in one place, you got the other places that can pick up.
I hope this is a lesson for younger generations. And what I mean by that is we live in a world where everybody does things for you. You know what I mean? Because of technology, and it's great, I mean, in some aspects, but we tend to forget how to do things ourselves because of that. And the times we live in, I don't think we're done yet. I think it's going to get worse before it gets better.
I believe so too.
You're going to have to be a little self-reliant, self-sufficient. Things like I'm just saying, you might want to get good at growing gardens, things like that. I could easily see food shortages and things coming up, and if you're not prepared to kind of take care of yourself a little, I'm not saying go be a survivalist or anything, but maybe plant a garden for some fun here and do something like that.
Get some experience, some hands-on.
Get some life skills experience here, because supply and demand at some point, if this stuff gets worse, you're either going to do without, or you're going to have to figure out how to do it yourself. And I'm afraid we have a whole generation of humans that aren't good at this.
No, I don't think we're just too, in a sense, greedy, I guess, and not necessarily how much more can I make, but how much can I save? If we built whatever we're building, chips for computers or anything, in the United States, the labor is so much more than in China. So let's go to China, and then it's cheaper, and that's better, and we all save more money. But in the long run, as we can see now, maybe we didn't save anything. Yeah,
that the converse. Well, and this is where we talk about humans and business and all that. When businesses make decisions revolving dollar, the bottom line here, and that's why. But
it's the dollar. It's the bottom line. Is that measured correctly?
Yeah, and that's just it. From a business,
look at global warming, if you believe in it. Anyway,
sure.
I do.
But from a dollars and cents business, they don't look at that. They're looking and saying,
but they should.
I can build a car here for X amount of dollars, or I can build it here for 2X. We're going to build it over there.
If the burning fossil fuels cost, they need that town to burn down.
Yeah.
That cost of that town burning down is not in the fossil fuel that we buy and put in our car.
Sure.
So, I mean...
Well, and I would even use that same argument yesterday when our governor was talking about global warming with the feds there. They were doing their thing. And of course, she's talking about how bad the air is in New Mexico right now, and it's because of these wildfires that were started by the federal government, by the way.
I never get it. They do it here too. We've had it here where it got more on fire than we need to.
They went political with it and said it's all about gas, and I'm like, you just told us the fires are destroying the state right now, and then you're going to go about gas. I'm like, gas ain't the problem at the moment. We got a bigger fish to fry before you use it.
Well, it is, but there is other more pressing stuff right now.
Yeah, I mean, you're trying to... Well, people don't take other things seriously when you just lump it all together, and that's what they're trying to do.
Of course, on a note of that, I got solar on my building at the store and at the house. That? And, it's been on there for 3 days now, so it's hard to say what it does, but it looks great. There's an app on the phone, and you can get on a website to look at it, see what your panels are doing, how much you're producing, whatever.
Nice.
And
no difference in power in the house or nothing?
You don't notice any difference,
Good deal.
You just... end up most likely not paying any electric.
Well, I'm. If you don't mind, you don't have to give me your business, but I'm just occasionally give me reports when you come in from month to month and just saying, hey, I'm saving X. I'm just curious, just to see.
Me too. That's why I was
I'm
anxious
curious.
to get it hooked up. It took a while.
If you don't mind, if you just kind of
I'll report on it.
Just gonna say, I saved $50 this month or something. I'd be curious to see what kind of savings you're getting back in return on that.
Supposedly, it's supposedly over the spread it out over the whole year.
Yeah,
you're not paying any electric company for electric that you buy from them. You do pay a little fee for the hookup because you need to be hooked up to the grid the way it's set up.
Sure.
At least we don't have batteries and are fully.
Yeah, you're not off the grid. You're on the grid. You're just your own power source.
You're just taking the burden off the burning fossil fuels.
And to be honest, whatever you don't use gets put into the power grid.
Right. Now the idea is to get an electric car as soon as we can here, whatever.
I think that's
then plug that into the solar, and then we can drive by the gas station and laugh.
I'm one of those people that thinks that we need to get even in the nuclear a fair shake again too. I think that technology can be there, and I think it can solve a lot of energy issues. With
I did see a documentary, and when was it? A couple of weeks ago, about it's on the NPR News or something like that. The people that drill the oil wells, they can drill deep holes and pump water through it, and it heats up. And then you got thermal energy going.
Okay. Well, that's like a new thing.
And the thing was, what they said was, you think of these places where the heat is close to the surface, and you can do that. They claim you can do it just about anywhere. Just depending on where you are, the hole may get deeper. But we're so good at drilling down, left, up, down, whatever, any which way we want, that seems to be no problem. So use the drilling technology for oil and whatever to start making these thermal generators with earth heat.
Absolutely. And they also do...
and another thing, we have a problem with the lithium and whatever for the batteries and stuff, these rare earth chemical. They come out of the deep earth too. They can extract them out of that steam that comes back out of the earth while you... generating electricity, and they making in the one place they make a lot of lithium. That's the side effect of it.
And that's the one thing is digging for the lithium, and everyone's like talking to like electric and and then they're like, well, but you got to tear up the earth going to get after the lithium.
Apparently, with this drilling for heat for hot water, you get a bunch of the minerals that you need out of it.
Interesting.
Right.
Okay.
I thought it was very interesting. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's when they get technology, working, it's, and that's just it. We got to always remember that evolution of science and technology here. I know, we grew up in an age where we've got so many perfected things, but all of those weren't perfected like they were today. And
right.
So,
well, the thing that I run into with the solar again, I got customers come in, whatever, and a certain part of the customers come in, certain percentage is like, wow, it's great. I think I need it too. But another percentage on the other side, I'll never work. Not even trying or thinking about it, but, that will...
Wow,
I will let you know how good it will work.
I'm very curious.
Right.
I think it's because I'm all for things that work, but I also want things that don't impact people's lives. As you know what I mean? Like electric is great, but until it can do what gas does, it's not going to...
Right. It needs to be powerful enough to do it.
It's not going to be adapted by the public. And solar is one of those things, too. It's like, I think once people see, hey, you could save a lot of money doing this, and if everybody had some solar panels on there, how many less plants do we need? Maybe
right. We still need them. We still need something else because at night it don't work real well.
Yeah, but and who knows? Maybe it's nuclear, maybe it's something else where we go and now they because nuclear they really there's the scary connotation about. But that technology is actually a lot better than it was 3 Mile Island and all that.
Same problem is with so many things. The waste. What do you do with the waste? That's really kind of at the moment a problem. But then they're working on these fusion reactors that seem to do.
But like in theory, they could have a building that's about the size of McDonald's set up in an area, and it'll power southeast New Mexico. I mean,
That's what you're
what you're
working
talking
on.
about. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
So we'll see how far we get with that.
Absolutely. All right, I just saw the time. In the meantime, when we're not solving world problems here, if you've got a computer that's got on the blink, or even if you want advice on, certain, if, hey, I'm trying to achieve this job, how do I do that? John can kind of give you all the bits and details and help you get what you need to do those jobs. Of course, if you're looking to build a computer or repair a computer, come by weekday mornings here. His public service hours are in the mornings.
Right,
here from
8 till 12:30, Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
I need the time. It's now it's not we anymore. Really.
It's just you.
Yes, and I need the time to get stuff fixed in the afternoon and go on service calls and things like that. That's what the idea anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. So bring him on by in the morning between 8 and noon here, Monday through Friday. And if it's something simple, like right there, he'll
fix it right there on the spot.
But if it's something where he's got to crack open the case and take a look at it, then what he'll do is you leave it with him.
A lot of times when you think it's gone, it's shot, doesn't come on no more, I plug it in and make it work right there.
Yeah. So if it's something like that, he'll knock it right. But if not, I'll work on the afternoon and then you call and get it.
Most stuff don't stay longer than a week, and that's because I'm waiting on a part.
Gotcha. Which is not uncommon in this day and age.
Well, in general, it's a screen for a laptop or something like that. Screen or a fan for a laptop is what we seem to wait on because they're all different.
Sure. Well, and those are things, especially screens, those are things that get probably cracked and messed up often because
they're like I said earlier, flimsy, whatever, and
then life
easy
happens.
to break. Right,
life happens. Something slides off a table, something does this and cracks. It just happens. So.
Anywhere between, darn, I wish it wouldn't have happened to. Well, that was stupid.
Yeah,
and anywhere in between.
And then on occasion, the computer made you real mad, and it got chucked across the room. But either way, John can help you as much as possible. He is not Jesus. He can't resurrect if you throw it across the room and it's in 30 pieces.
Well, we can fix everything, but is it worth it?
Yeah.
Let's bury
it and start over.
If your 10-year-old machine has a component bad in it that we can fix for $500, then I think you're better off buying another one.
Yeah, exactly. But either way, he can handle all that stuff. Definitely come on by. Give out the phone number if anybody has any questions.
575-625-9141.
Yeah, and come on by right behind the wool bowl there.
1703 North Garden.
Yeah.
Don't confuse it with the other one.
Yeah, because that's what I do.
Atkinson. It's right behind the wool bowl. Then you can't miss it.
Yeah, you come on by and do you still have your neighbor? I came by the chicken.
No, the chicken is gone.
Has it moved on? Yeah, I've
it stayed for about a week and a half, and it hung around. I fed it something, and then one day it was just gone.
I popped in a couple weeks ago to drop something off or pick something up from John, and sure enough, he had a visitor, not in the building, but just kind of hanging out in the neighborhood there, this chicken. He's just hanging out, visiting people, and walking around looking for food or whatever, and I guess he...
I fed him a little bit dog food. That's all I got.
No chicken to feed there?
Chickens eat everything, but I didn't see any eggs, though.
Yeah. Didn't leave you any presents?
No.
Oh, well, you're on your own for breakfast.
Oh, well. It was fun.
Yeah. It was nice having a pet for a little bit.
Right.
So. Well, very good. Well, John, thank you as always. Appreciate the visit. We'll let you go get to work on that stack. I'm sure you got a couple people already waiting.
Yeah, there's a couple of things that need to be handled. It's not too bad. Bring them in because we can use a little more.
Absolutely. Seriously, if you need help with any of this stuff, John knows his stuff. He's really good at helping people sort through these things. And if there's a way to resurrect it, John will find it for you. So
we'll do it.
Good deal. Well, thank you,
All
sir.
right.
Appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Don't work too hard. And let me know how your solar thing is.
I will let you know next time. I'll bring a report.
He'll come walking in. It's like, I got so much juice. I don't know what to do with it. Here it is. Here, have some. Thanks, John. All right. It is